It's preparing now. It's coming. It's coming. Okay. Yes, we're streaming live. It said that we were streaming live, so I'm gonna hit the record button too. So record this on the computer. Also, let me check my groups real quick before we start our lovely show here. I'm gonna check my page, and yes, I do see us live, and I'm gonna start sharing in my groups. Let me see here. I'm also gonna share on Rayon's page as well. We are live, so don't say anything crazy. All right, Rayon. Let me just see if I can.
I see a lot of crazy stuff.
Oh, really? Okay, you really? Yeah, you probably do.
I can hear myself in the background for some reason.
You have your phone on?
No,
I
I'm doing this through my computer.
Okay, you're fine then. Yeah, you're fine. I'm just gonna share it in my groups real quick, and I'm trying to share it on Rayon's page, but I'm not seeing that option. So if you have your phone
Okay.
with you, you can do it because my it's open right now, so you could just hit the share button. Just go on my page real quick. And while you're doing that, I'll
Okay.
do our quick introduction. Hey, everyone. This is Kitty London, host and creator of the People of Power Show. And every week I sit down with movers and shakers, CEOs, entrepreneurs, politicians, community leaders, newsmakers, some celebs, basically people who are doing amazing things. And tonight I have Mr. Theodore Watts, and you hear Monday in the back. He wanted to say hello to everyone in on Facebook. I'm teaching him how to say hello. He does it off cue though, but I'm teaching him how to speak. He's speaking in the background. But anyway, I just want to welcome Theodore Watts. I'm gonna call him Teddy because that's how I know him as Teddy. But you may want to call him
Yeah.
the mogul, the guru, the business junkie, the marketing guy. He has so many titles, but I really wanted him to be on the show tonight because it is so imperative that we talk about business. I used to have this thing called Mind Your Business, and it's not about being in someone else's business. It's really about minding your own business. And I think as an entrepreneur, so many people have became entrepreneurs, especially in 2021, whether it was voluntary or involuntary. People had to tap into their own superpowers, find their way because they lost their employment and things like that. So we want to all hopefully eventually become entrepreneurs to own our own, but we want to do it the right way. You know, we have Rick Ross that says I'm a boss, and we have so many people say that, but what does that actually mean, being a boss? And are you making money, and are you marketing your product in the right way so you can capture an audience and at the end of the day have a profit and revenue, because that's really what a business is about. At the end of the day, it's about you taking care of yourself, your staff, and being able to sit back one day, retire early, and enjoy life. I think I said that right. Am I right, Teddy? Is that
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's kind of one of those things. I kind of want to chime in on what you said earlier, that a lot of entrepreneurs have been created in 2021. But let's start at 2020 when the pandemic started, when COVID hit. You know, a lot of people, especially urbanites, were commuting from the suburbs to the city to work in these office buildings. A lot of my clients were doing this, so this is why I'm bringing it up, and it's a perfect segue into my presentation. A
okay?
lot of businessmen and women were basically commuting from the suburbs to the city to work in these big office buildings where tons of people are at. That all stopped March of 2020 plus. And what we saw was this surge from being in the city, working in the city, to actually really working from home,
Mhm.
and or working from your second residence, whether that's a beachfront condo or just a vacation home or whatever, you know. And a lot of my clients are like, hey, you know, I'm at my beach home, or I'm at my vacation property, but I still need to work, you know. And all of that just really completely took everybody's surprise, like the
Mhm.
pandemic. On the flip side, you had people that were working and got laid off, or you had people that had side jobs or were moonlighting. I was a huge moonlighter until I just completely uh, jumped off the cliff and was just like, okay, I'm really just working from home and that's it. Like this is it.
Right.
And what happened is that a lot of people who had this entrepreneurial spirit in them, uh, really it came to the forefront. So they started to get on the internet and educate themselves, and they started utilizing all these tools and amazing services,
Mhm.
to basically promote their business and get their business off the ground. So no more working for the man, no more moonlighting. Now it's for real. And
Mhm.
I just wanted to chime in on that because that's a huge plus when we're talking about entrepreneurship. It's just like, hey, like the pandemic. Uh-oh, I think my
You're there.
internet got interrupted. I just want to make sure that we address that
Hmm.
up front. That a lot of entrepreneurs indeed started to really
Okay, I think I lost you, Ted. Are you there?
okay. I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh, all
Okay.
right.
It looks like you froze a little bit, so I'm making
Yeah.
sure. Okay.
No worries. Yeah.
Okay. I got
Perfect.
you.
Yeah.
Now, before we get into to your presentation, I love to do what we call background checks because I believe when
Sure.
people see you for the first time, may not know who you are, and it's like, okay, he talks a good game, but who is this guy? Like, can you just give us a brief introduction on your background? And I know looking at your bio is very impressive, and you'll give them your information later in the segment as far as getting contact information in your website. But I know you have over 20 years experience in what you do. But can you just kind of tell them a little bit about who you are and who are some of your clients so they'll
Sure.
know this you like you're the real deal.
Thank you. Well, let's just start off. I attended the University of Illinois. I was a pre-law student and started taking these advertising and marketing classes, and I just really fell in love with it. And I thought it was like, wow, this is a business side of me that was it's like kind of fun. It's not as dry as finance or as dry as law. It's I can still be creative with my words and with my personality and sell and make a lot of money. So I got into marketing full force after I graduated. And basically, I started my career in finance. I was working at a brokerage firm. Well, first I was working with my mentor in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and he had a financial digital software called Fibonacci Secrets, and that was my first product I ever marketed on the internet. It's how I kind of like learned how to really write effective direct response copywriting. It's pretty much how I learned how to do paid search when Yahoo had the paid search platform. Um, I mean, we're pretty much doing a podcast right now. I remember I've been in the game so long. I remember when iPods came out and we were doing syndication interviews through the iPod. That's why they called it podcasting, and that was in 2004. So we was using that technology back then to market seminars, marketing seminars, and financial seminars. Then I moved over to Weiss Capital Management in Jupiter. I came back home, and I was also working again in finance, and I headed up all the digital marketing for a lot of investor products. I was writing reports on how to invest in gold and ETFs and pretty much how to invest in crude oil and all this stuff, and marketing it on the internet, doing lead generation. Then and I'm fast tracking really quick. Then I went out on my own because I was moonlighting during all of that. Went out on my own and caught a client whale of a client in Miami, and they had a canvas printing company, and I started marketing their products on the internet. And at that time, I had a relationship with Amazon because I used to sell ebooks,
Mm-hmm.
financial ebooks on Amazon, and I had a relationship with a sales rep there. And this is during the time like the daily deal space was like getting really hot. So I connected my client, my canvas printing client. Back then it was called Canvas Mega Canvas Store and Canvas Lifestyle. I connected the two, and we ran our first daily deal. I believe in 2011, 2012, 11, and we really did amazing numbers. And within like, I would say 7 days, we made over $1 million with selling a 20 by 24 canvas print for $29. And that's how I kind of like really understood like this is what I'm doing forever. Because before that, I was
Making that
like,
much
oh,
money I said, making that much money in a week, I would
yeah.
say this is what I want to do as well.
But this is how much I made my client. I got a percentage of that, and
Right.
bought a couple of things and moved in certain places. So
Mhm.
anyway, it provided me a comfortable life for a while, and that was cool and everything. So yes, I partnered with Amazon, and that was a great partnership.
Mhm.
From there, I went to the C-suite level at Miami-Dade College, where I managed over $2 million in ad spend every year for 8 campuses that I promoted on the internet, which allowed me to leverage relationships with iHeartMedia, Pandora, Spotify, and a lot of the Miami Herald, the Palm Beach Post, a lot of heavy hitting vendors that I have amazing relationships with that I use for my own firm now. So
Okay.
in a nutshell, that's my background.
All right. Well, that's listen, that's a nice background. I mean, to work with iHeartRadio and Amazon, those are pretty recognizable names, I would say, when it comes to marketing. So we'll get into your presentation. And if you are watching the show or able to watch the show later, you have any questions, please make sure you put it in the inbox, or let us know, so we can answer the questions if we can. So I'm ready, Ted. I'm ready to start learning. I got my glasses on. I'm trying
Okay.
to look educated, and I'm a student as well because I'm getting into the business side of it. So I am ready to learn with everyone else.
Absolutely. And before we get started, I just wanted to say congratulations again on your educational accomplishments. I remember when you and I started in media, we were taking like a video editing class at Palm Beach Community
Great.
College. Now,
Yep.
now Palm Beach State. And it was amazing working with you then. So congratulations. And I love the platform that you have created for entrepreneurs to come on and basically promote their products and services and also talk about social issues. So, kudos to you and thanks so much and keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. All right. So I'm sharing my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All
I
right,
see it.
cool.
Mhm.
So like in the marketing that we did to let everybody know what this is all about. So this is 5 major tips on how to grow your business online in 30 days or less during the pandemic. Okay, so I want everybody to understand that these are just 5 tips that I would tell any paying client, any not any consultation that I'll do, but if you're a
Mhm.
paying client, I share a lot of resources. There's I have a lot of vendors I work with. So these are a couple of things that I'm going to share. And then I got something real cool at the end
Okay.
for your listeners and viewers. Okay. All
All
right.
right.
So number one thing, and I hope it, everybody, and I just assume like everyone's taking copious notes. Okay. So tip tip number one, you got to create a landing page that collects prospects follow up information for sales and marketing. Okay. So what's the landing page? I'm going to show you an example of that in a little bit.
Mhm.
So The whole thing about a landing page is just that it's a page where people land on. And what you want to do on a landing page is give away something of value for free. Okay. And in exchange, you're going to collect their name, email, mobile phone number, because mobile marketing is huge now, and their home address if needed. Okay.
Mm,
So having a landing page and collecting all that information is called lead generation. Okay.
okay.
We at Monsoon Digital Media, we are lead generating fanatics. All of our clients are like, hey, listen, I got a good business model. I'm making money. I want to make more money. I need more leads because I need more sales. And I'm like, you came to the right place. Okay. So that's exactly what we do. We do lead generation. And this is how we somewhat do it. Okay. By creating a landing page. So let me bring up a landing page real quick. Give me a sec here.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask you too, like for the ladies, I know a lot of ladies probably see this, and this is, I guess, an example of a landing page. So you go on to, your favorite boutique online or your favorite makeup or whatever, and if you're new, they don't recognize you're new, but they'll say, if you want to save 10% on your next purchase, please give us your email address or sign up for your email address.
Right.
So that's the way kind of baiting you into them getting in their funnel for future advertisement and sales. Am I
E-
correct by saying?
Exactly. Yes, you are absolutely correct. And I am about to show you an example right now.
Okay.
And it's from one of my paying clients right now, Oakwood Properties. Um, and what they do is he is starting up a fund to get investors on board to invest in a boutique community,
Mhm.
in a community in Hartford, Connecticut. It's a 24 unit boutique, high end, and he came he came to me with his team and he says, hey, we're starting construction on this boutique high end community in Connecticut. We need to create some awareness, uh, drive traffic to our site, and get people excited, and also get investors excited. So I said,
Mhm.
okay, all right. What's your budget? They had a nice size budget. So I said, okay, all right, let's set up a landing page for investors specifically because they're trying to raise about 10 million. I think 5 to 10 million. I'm sorry. And right here, like I said, this is what we call above the fold. Okay, so any website or landing page should have the most important information immediately, so you can collect leads. Okay, so we got the name, email, phone number, and also a message access here. All right,
Mhm.
so we tell them exactly what this is all about, and then we go down the page here. Now,
Are you sharing that page with us, Ted? Because I don't see it.
oh, okay. You don't see it. Okay. Give me a sec here.
Yeah, no. It's still on the tip page.
Okay. I have to do a new share. Okay. Alrighty.
Okay. There it is.
Cool. Yeah. I
Okay.
usually use Google Meet. Google Meet
Sorry.
is no. It's all good. All right. So you can see my landing page now, right?
Yes.
All right,
Mm-hmm.
cool. All right, so I'm not gonna start that all over again, that whole speech, but this is above the fold. We got the logo here. We got the email control. We're collecting the name, email, and phone number. And my firm, we design all of these landing pages and websites and stuff. This particular client, Oakwood Properties, didn't even have a website. I said, no, that's okay. Let's just create a quick landing page, and I'll give you this specific resource that we did this quick design in. Okay, so we're going down the page. It's a minimum investment of 25K, target holds 60 months, potential yield 20%. So we're giving them information, and the whole thing about a landing page again is to give something away of value. Okay, so you can get the opt-in, the name, email, phone number, all of that stuff. So what it is you request information. Okay, it's an information packet or a pitch deck. So that's what they're opting in for. So I just wanted to share that with you real quick. So I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint presentation. So this is an example of a landing page, very short and sweet. It's not a full-fledged website. It's just something that we can do lead generation with. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint. Okay. Let me know if you can see the PowerPoint.
Yep, I can see it.
All right. Perfect. There we go. All right. So, all right. So a couple of places where you can quickly and very cheaply create a landing pages with MailChimp. MailChimp is a CRM. However, they allow you to create a landing page within their platform. Also Unbounce, which is the landing page I just showed you. We use
Mhm.
Unbounce for that. Okay. All right, so that's tip number one. Tip number two, sign up for a free MailChimp CRM. Perfect segue. All right. And MailChimp, I'll not sure if I need to show you what MailChimp is, but MailChimp allows you to collect data. So all the information that's on the landing page goes
Mhm.
inside of a CRM. And MailChimp is a CRM. Okay. And one thing that's really cool about MailChimp is that your first 2,000 contacts is completely free. That's why I recommended the clients start now. They're like, hey, I don't have a CRM. I don't have a database to collect all this information, all this prospect or customer data.
Mhm.
I recommend MailChimp. Okay. All right. So
Now,
20.
for people who don't are not familiar with the acronyms, I know this is the marketing jargon that we use. So
Sure.
the CRM, what does that stand for?
Customer relationship management system. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's all the, like, if you are collecting information on a landing page or through your website, it
Mhm.
needs to be stored somewhere. Like you should never create your own database or your own CRM. There's like it's always good to find one that allows you to store some information in, test it
Mhm.
out. And MailChimp is one of the vendors that I recommend. I work with MailChimp very closely, and that's why I recommend them. So your first
Okay.
2,000 contacts are free. Okay.
That's a
And
lot of contacts. That's a
yeah,
lot.
that's a, hey, like if you got 2,000 leads, like you are storing those in MailChimp for free, and that's amazing. Once it
Mhm.
reaches a certain limit, then they start charging like $35 a month. But hey, I completely throw tons of money at anything like this because it's allowing me to manage my customers and my clients. It also allows me to follow up with
Mhm.
emails about promotions and what have you. Okay, so uh, it's a great platform to use. Okay.
Gotcha. All right. You know what I love about these type of shows? I tell you, even when we don't have questions or people, even if they're not viewing at this time, listen, I'm learning. I tell people all the
Sure.
time, if nobody else learned from my guests, I learned from my guests. I feel like
Absolutely.
I'm just sharing and being very grateful, and letting people get the information that I can get on a one-on-one. So I hope that, when people are able to see it later, that they're able to, definitely jot down notes, take this
Sure.
information
Sure.
because it's
And
how we grow.
right. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of everything being digital, is that we are recording this, so it's going to be something. It's content that you've built that you can always refer to or share and what have you. So people see this later, and
Yep,
that's pretty much the name of the game. You know.
right.
Um,
And not only see it, but people use it.
yep.
Because again, this type of information, for people like Ted and other marketing people, when they do consultations with you, it's not free, right?
No.
When people
No, it's
actually
not.
take you from an ordinary business to an extraordinary business, it is not free. So at least the tidbits that you're giving out now, Ted, you're actually setting them up, so when they do need to go to that next level, they at least have the basics. Because
Sure.
again, many people don't even have a website, let
Right.
alone a landing page, right? So all
Yeah.
this information is so great. I'm just letting you know. Just
Oh yeah,
letting.
thank you so much. And yeah, these are like basic tips, or for an entrepreneur starting out, or startups that are like, hey, like what do I need to do, and why do I need to do it? And because people think, especially in marketing, people think, okay, I'm on social media, I got a couple of hundred people, that's all I need. Wrong.
Right.
Absolutely wrong.
Right.
You need a whole lot more than that.
Mhm.
And you need tools to manage all the traction that you're going to get. You know what happens, and it's so sad that you have some companies that put up a website and they do a video on YouTube and it goes viral, and they don't know how to capture all that amazing marketing
That
that just
traffic.
happened for them. Yet
Right. That
they don't know
traffic.
how to capitalize on the traffic. So it's just like, oh yeah, uh we got 5 million views. I'm like, okay, that means nothing. What does that mean? Did you collect any information so you could follow up with them to sell them your service? No, they didn't, because they don't have the tools. They don't have or have
Mm-hmm.
the knowledge to go and seek these tools out. So that's why these little basic tips always help. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So tip number three, I could go on and talk about this stuff. Tip number
That's
three,
fine.
sign up for a scheduling calendar service. Now, let me tell you something, Kenya. Overnight, overnight, I caught a will of a client by implementing this. Okay, what I used to do is oh, call me or text me or send me an email. So I could put you on my Google Calendar, and then I would call them and what have you. What a scheduling service does is it allows you to preset your calendar for what days and times that you are available. Like my schedule starts at 10 a.m. Monday through Friday, and it stops at 6 p.m. Excuse me, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Yeah. And that's it. Like no weekends. So it allows your prospect or customers to quickly see, okay, all right, I want this time slot. Once I started using Canonly, which is a scheduling service, um, overnight, I really started to manage my customer flow and my sales process much easier. So this is one of the apps that I recommend. Another one is Schedulosity. Here's a prime example since we're talking entrepreneurs. If you have a hair salon, if you have a barbershop, um, anything that it requires you to have an appointment, you should use this tool. Absolutely. You know, um, for a prime example, my barber, he's still old school. He's Dominican and he's old school and he's from New York, and he's like, dude, just text me and see if I'm available. I said, but that's inefficient, man. Like you should have a scheduling service that you just send out to all your clients and say, hey, now you can schedule a hair appointment. Here's the days I'm available. Here are the times. Done. I don't need to call you. I don't need to text you. It's already set. It's on my Google Calendar when I set it. So it's an amazing tool, and I recommend everyone use it. Okay.
All right. I love it. And that's why the barbers and the hairdressers have 4 people at 1 o'clock.
Exactly.
Right.
And I'm one of those clients where my time is extremely precious because I value my time, and you should too.
Mm,
And I know how much an hour is worth to me. So if I'm sitting in a barbershop for 2 hours trying to pay you $25 to $30 with a tip for a haircut, no,
mhm.
it's not gonna happen. I'll just walk out and find a new barber. I've done it plenty of times, and I guess I just do not like uh, in- inefficiency. So this is something that you can use to be efficient. So use it. Okay.
I love it.
Tip four. All right. Start building content around your business and give it away for free. When I started digital marketing, and I was working with my mentor, and we had this Fibonacci analysis software. We would create these 20-page reports on how to invest and how to use Fibonacci analysis to invest. And we would wrap it up in a PDF and call it an ebook. Is valued at $47. Opt in, give me your name and email, phone number. You can have this 20-page report absolutely free. So tons of people will sign up for it and they read it. They're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing content. I can now use Fibonacci analysis to read to understand the markets better. And then we turn around and sell them a $997 software.
Wow.
So we invested into you before we even asked you for a penny. Okay, so you can do this by creating industry articles, uh, industry videos. Now, videos are extremely hot right now. Listen, I watch YouTube for entertainment now. I watch YouTube for news. I don't watch television anymore. It's crazy. Everything I need is on YouTube or in some type of streaming platform. So using video to give out tips on how to change your oil or how to apply makeup, or how to what things to look for when hiring a defense attorney, what have you. These are all things that you could create content with, was it written articles or video, just with your phone. Okay, you could just create content now. So I look at all the stuff that you do, Kenya, and I'm just like, wow, she like you're not only a personality, but you're an amazing marketer. You know what I'm saying? Because you are building tons of content that you can repurpose. Okay.
Yeah.
So as an example, this podcast, you can literally because you're recording it, you can go and hire someone to transcribe it and you can rewrite it. Bam, that's like 30-40 pages of content that you can use in a book or you can use in a report or you can use in an article. Okay,
Yep.
content.
And I am repositioning myself too, because I'm glad you said that, especially with all the social media outlets that we have. We don't just have Facebook, we have YouTube, we have Instagram, we
Mhm.
have
Yep.
Twitter. In a lot of, well, we have Clubhouse now. There's so
Yep.
many that are coming out, but you do have to be you have to speak the language on each platform now. You can't just be like one dimensional, because I know
Mhm.
people would say, and I had to get out of that. I learned in school, they're like, oh, I'm just on Facebook, but no, you're media. So you have to
Uh-huh.
be on Twitter. You have a
Yeah.
Twitter handle. You have to have an
Yep.
Instagram handle. You have to have a
Yep.
YouTube handle. You have to have a Facebook handle. And you can make
Right.
money on each one of those. And you are absolutely right. I have to one day lock myself away for a while and go ahead and take all the videos. I have probably over 400 interviews.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
I
listen,
kick
you
myself in the butt.
you have a book. You have like probably a couple of books just sitting right there. You know what I'm
you know,
saying? And
and
guess what? And here's the thing. Maybe if you bring me back on the show,
yeah.
bring me back on your podcast, I'll show you how to do all of that, and you don't have to do the work.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So
definitely.
you can get all
It
this
definitely
stuff.
needs to be a part two.
you you can get all this content transcribed, rewritten, and packaged up, put it in a book, go and sell it. Put it on Amazon, sell it on your website, put up a landing page, drive tons of massive traffic to it,
Right.
and hire a firm like me to do all that for you. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I like that. Look at that marketing segue just went right. Yeah, I like it.
let me keep going. Okay,
Okay.
so along with industry articles and videos, there's blog posts. Now here's the thing about blogs. Blogs have never died. They just have taken another route. And
Mhm.
a lot of these blogs are industry blogs. So if you are in a specific industry, insurance, law, what have you, create some content and go out to the big dogs who have these big blogs and say, hey, I've created some content here. You can have it for free. Just put a link back to my website, because guess what, as a content creator and,
Mhm.
and blogger, sometimes you don't want to create your own content. So that's a way of joint venturing and partnering with other websites by giving away something of value just to get in business with them, and that's a great way. Okay. Press releases. Now, press releases, as you know, you work in media. Press releases are extremely helpful. PR Web is a company that I used to use back in the day that was purchased by Cision, which is the resource right there. And what they do is that they'll take your press release and they will blast it out to all of the digital media platforms. And if you have your URL in there, going back to your website or landing page, if you have your phone number in there, all that traffic is coming back uh, to your site, and you can, and if you have the right things in place to utilize all of that to capitalize on all that traffic,
Mhm.
you're going to make some good money. You're going to make a lot of contacts. You're going to get media contacts that want to interview you, what have you. So doing press releases, digital press releases, and creating that content is amazing. Now, hey, let's just say that you wrote an article. You can repurpose that for a press release. Okay. So the name of the game in 2021 and beyond is content, content, content. If you have video and audio content, streaming revenue. Okay. All right. This is where the money is online now. Okay. A lot of people contact me for free consultations. I do about 7 to 10 consultations a day, some free, some charged. And they always ask me, what's the hottest thing in digital right now? I say content. Create as much as possible, video and audio content. Stream it as much as you can. Put everything on YouTube, because Google, which owns YouTube, will send you a check every month based on how many people are viewing and listening to your content.
Wow.
Okay. All
That
right.
takes it sounds like it takes a lot of focus. I mean, people really have to hone into their time.
You know what?
Um,
And it's not for everybody. Being in business is not for everybody.
mhm,
Having an online business is not for everybody. It's a lot of work. I've been in the biz almost 20 years, and yeah, as you know, you're in media and you do this stuff every day. I've been following you. I see your marketing. It's a ton of work. It's a ton of
mhm,
work. And however, it's worth it at the end of the day. And you and I need to talk about um, a couple of things, because um, while following you, I'm like, wow, there's some amazing ideas I have that you and I can just kind of like talk about offline. But
oh,
content, and you have a lot of it,
yeah.
and that's what it's about.
Okay.
All right. Tip 5, all right, which is the last tip: massive traffic generators. So, like I said, or I really didn't get into monsoon digital marketing. Uh, I will. And what we do, what we mainly focus in, our bread and butter is uh, setting up and managing Google AdWords and Facebook ad campaigns for our clients. Okay, the
Mhm,
reason the reason why we concentrate on that, and we used to do a lot of other stuff, SEO, copywriting, research. We still do a lot of that stuff. Not SEO as much, but what we really understood quickly is that Google AdWords and Facebook display ads is the number one lead generator. um,
mhm,
and when I say number one, I mean it's number one because we can set up your campaign within 48 hours. You will have leads
mhm,
stored in your MailChimp account. So within 48 hours, I can guarantee you that you will have people that are raising their hand say, "Hey, contact me about your product and service." And that's what we quickly understood. Like, this is where it's at. This is our main business model. Okay. And so a lot of companies that were hit by the pandemic. Okay, they downsized their office. They closed their office. They downsized their teams, and they downsized their marketing department, and only kept a couple of people. And they come to me and go, hey, we our profits have dropped because of the pandemic and X, Y, and Z, because we don't have a robust digital marketing um, platform. Like we are not doing enough digital marketing. We were running ads in the newspaper. We were running ads on radio. We had bus trolleys. We had posters X, Y, and Z. Mall posters. All of that took a hit during the pandemic. You know what really, like, businesses that thrived in the pandemic in March of 2022? Businesses that understood that digital marketing is extremely important. You're leaving money on the table when you do not have a strong digital presence. Okay. And that's what really made me realize during the pandemic is like, hey, look at all these businesses saying, hey, teach me this stuff or do it for me. And I'm like, absolutely. Okay. So one of the things with all of that is lead generation. Okay, I have this website, I have this landing page, we have products, we have all these services. How do we get leads? How can I sell, or how can I get data in to my sales team to get on the phone and call? Because guess what? Just because it's a pandemic doesn't mean that you have to go homeless or you can have to go hungry. What you have to do is reposition yourself. Okay. And that's what a lot of entrepreneurs did. They reposition themselves online. And two of the main things, I'm sorry, that we use to drive massive traffic to all our clients' landing pages and websites is Google AdWords. And Google AdWords is just basically a text ad on a Google search engine based on search queries. So if you type in hair salon, West Palm Beach, Florida, that's a search query that shows up in Google. There's a text ad for a hair salon in West Palm Beach. You click on the ad, it goes to your landing page. We're collecting data. Bam. Someone can get on the phone and say, hey, what time do you want to come in? X, Y, and Z. Or you send them, okay, with effective digital marketing, you send them your schedule link. Okay, book a time to come in to get your hair done. Okay, so we've seen businesses come to us, utilize these services, and have great success. Same thing with Facebook newsfeed ads. Okay, these are just display ads, okay, that you click on based on your targeting. So if you're interested in let's just say you're interested in a certain type of tea. I know that there's all these tea cafes opening up, like herbal and exotic teas. If you're interested in that, based on household income, based on location, your display ad shows up in your Facebook news feed. You click on the ad, guess what? It goes back to your landing page or your website. You're collecting data and you can follow up with them with sales. Okay. So,
So with Monsoon, basically, it sounds like you're saying with Monsoon Digital Media Group, you pretty much can help any business. Because I think any type of business, no matter if you're a restaurant, I mean, nowadays you need some type of digital content for
mhm,
your customers who use that smartphone, who want to maybe search for
sure.
the restaurant that's in town and what you
Mhm.
have. So you have to have some type of digital content. That's what
Yeah,
it sounds like.
yeah,
Every
yeah,
business.
absolutely. Now, depending on the business needs, depending on the business needs, we can help, and that's why consultations are extremely important, because there's some businesses that are like, hey, I need X, Y, and Z. And I go, okay, great. And as any marketer would ask, what's your budget? And then it's like silence. It's like, okay, what do you mean budget? I'm like, what's your marketing budget every month? Like, how much money are you setting aside every month from your business so you can spend in marketing to grow your business, you
And I
know?
think those are the ABCs, and I think that's the one letter that we do miss because when you're a new business owner, you try to get your paperwork together. That should be like the number one thing, right? Get
Mhm.
registered, get your FEIN number, make sure you have your business tax receipts. Make sure you're legit on paper, right?
Yeah.
And then you start creating, let's say, your first Facebook business page, because
Mhm.
you know a lot of times people say, well, a website, depending on their budget, right? Their
Yeah.
website may be in their budget, may not, but let's just say they get one. I don't think we do think of that as far as, well, how much money are we willing to actually spend on a monthly basis to push our business, to make
Exactly.
sure that people know who we are. And like you said, that's definitely a great tool. So any business, even when you're, now we're going into, well, you actually have, I think, two more days now. So you better sign up, or you better go on somebiz.org and pay that 150, so you won't get hit with that $400 fee,
Yeah.
right? That
Yeah.
penalty.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that a lot of businesses actually have to go back to the drawing board and look at and say, you know what, where can we maybe cut some of this to add more of this? Because the more marketing dollars you have, the more potential clients you can get,
Mhm. Yeah.
which then results into more profit.
Yeah. And it's that's pretty much the truth. I mean, they say build it and they will come. I do not believe in that. I say build it and find the budget to market it so more people can come continuously. Okay, because it's not good enough to just do a marketing initiative and then stop. You know, um, for a prime example, when I worked at Miami Dade College for 5 years at the C-suite level, and it was a lot of federal dollars going around, and I noticed that it was a little lopsided. I came into this conglomerate of a college that had tons of money to spend, and most of it was in newspapers, bus trolleys, uh, uh, bus shelters, and ads on the metro rail, and uh, highway ads. It was just tons of money being spent on marketing that simply does not speak to the demographic, which is 18 to 24, 25 to 45, high school degree, some college, no college degree. Okay. All right. I just summed up the undergrad or the student that's going for their AA, and the continuing education student. This is the student that works at night, works X, Y, and Z, or they're coming to get like an insurance license or what have you. Okay, so I had a meeting with leadership and I said, well, we definitely have to have a seismic shift um, in the mindset of marketing because you're not speaking to your demographic, and that's why your numbers are so low. Your enrollment is so low. Um, Here's how I think that we can increase it. Here's my recommendation. So let's take 2 million from traditional marketing, and these are relationships that span 30 years, and politics and what have you. So I'm coming in, I'm shaking up the place with these big ideas, and I want $2 million a year for digital, and they freaked out, they laughed at me. um, and so when they're laughing at me, I'm taking notes, and I'm taking names, and I'm writing down the date. I said, okay, give me 6 months with just 1 million. Let me see what I can do. And I increased our enrollment by 17%. Done. Because with the budget, I can do a lot. And it also allowed me to create some really amazing friends, and with certain vendors like Hulu and Spotify and iHeart. It was amazing. But the reason why I tell that story is because you have to know what you're doing with your budget also. So creating a marketing plan, so when you do launch, all of the marketing feeds on each other, and everything just keeps the phones ringing and the leads coming in. So, all right, getting back uh, to the PowerPoint,
Mhm.
I have a gift for all the people that are listening or viewing. Um, and it's only going to last for 24 hours. I'm going to be doing free 30-minute consultations for the first 15 entrepreneurs that go to Monsoon Digital Media /schedule. Now, that's my scheduling booking link right there. So you can uh, schedule a time to speak with me or one of my team members for 30 minutes, and it's valued at $147. That's a real number. If you go to my website, monsoondigitalmedia.com, the first thing that you'll see above the fold is uh, this offer here to sign up for a free 30-minute consultation that's valued at $147. Okay. If you want a copy of this presentation, simply send me an email and I'll send you a link to the PowerPoint. And that's what I'm going to do for your audience, Kenya.
Thank you.
Now let's talk about some fun stuff.
No, wait. I was gonna, because you kind of segue. Okay, so you can actually, well, you can leave it up for a little minute. I was gonna
Sure,
say so then
sure,
people can see us side to side. But you talked about, because I was going to go into what are the biggest, some of the biggest mistakes, and I know you did hit on
sure.
the budget, which is obviously one of the biggest
Mm-hmm,
mistakes.
mm-hmm,
But we wanted to talk about as well too, because of the pandemic, and a lot of things happened last year with racial injustice.
mm-hmm.
A lot of Fortune 500 companies and companies are also looking into their diversity and inclusion to see
Sure.
who are we marketing to? Are we showing the right people in our ad campaigns now to draw on the right people? How do you feel as a marketer did the Black Lives Matter impact the marketing
You,
segments of people's business?
Kenya, that's an amazing question. And it really just takes me quickly back to my time at Miami-Dade College. And I'm sorry to keep bringing them up, but when I was at Miami-Dade College, I was in charge of marketing for 8 campuses. And I'm a data-driven person, so I do a lot of research. I read a lot of peer industry articles, um, and I always look at the data. I analyze all of the data. And one thing um, that I quickly realized while working at Wilson campus, specifically downtown Miami, is that most of our student body is Haitian Americans and Caribbean Americans, first generation. Um, so when I was looking to market uh, for student enrollment for a fall or spring uh, en- enrollment period, I looked at the data. I looked at the demographics. I looked at the HHI, the household income. I looked at all these things and go, okay, now we're about to create a commercial, or we're building or designing banners and what have you. And before we do all of that, let's look at the data. And what the data spoke to me, let's just say for Wolfson campus, which is downtown Miami, like right down the street from Overtown and um, right down the street from the urban area, most of our students were Haitian American. However, the previous ads that we were running, the previous banners that we were running, said something different. It was white Cuban Americans and white kids. No black kids represented on these banners in the marketing whatsoever. And so I had a conversation at a leadership meeting, and I'm going, this is the issue, because that's probably another reason why our numbers are down, because we're not reflecting the demographic in our ads. So if you're working in an organization, and you're a person of color, and you have the you should want and have the responsibility of raising your hand and saying, you know why is there not enough diversity in our marketing? I mean, the numbers, I mean, the data clearly says something different. So I'm very proud to say that I was part of making a change in what's uh, being reflected and what's being displayed in our marketing uh, for the Miami community, especially kids who are trying to get education and don't have a lot of money, and so they need to go to a 2-year institution before they transfer to a 4-year and what have you. So that's a perfect story, I think, for your question.
So basically, for people who are starting a business, look at, who you're marketing to, look at who your customers are, and definitely who you want your customers to be. And whoever you want your customers to be, those basically should reflect in your marketing strategies like I said, if you are looking to have a diverse clientele, you definitely want to have diverse marketing to represent what you're trying to sell. So
Sure.
that's great. That's definitely great info.
Yeah.
And I
And
think
go
and
ahead.
I think sometimes we don't do it intentionally. I think, for the most part, some people do, but I think for the most part, we kind of stick to what we know. We kind of stick to what we feel comfortable with. But then when you're a business, you're serving the people, or at least you should be,
Yeah.
especially depending on businesses like schools and government agencies and things like that. You have a big uh, group that you're serving. So
Yep.
definitely when you do marketing ads, it should represent a little bit of everybody.
Yeah. Well, and also let's talk about location. Okay. So and as a business analyst and a digital marketing executive, I look at data. So okay, so I have a client. They are in Miami. They do high end residential sales. Okay, and they wanted to market a 24 unit boutique, high end boutique residence in okay. Oh,
I
let me
did that.
stop sharing.
No,
Yes.
I did it. No, it's
Okay.
good. It's
Okay,
good.
cool, great.
We're side by side now.
All right, cool. They wanted to market this high-end boutique residence in South Beach. So they weren't looking at the data, and I look at the data. They thought, oh, let's run ads in New York, let's run ads in Boston, and so the Northeast, where all the old money is, and also certain parts of Silicon Valley, and San Francisco, and on the West Coast. And so I said, okay, I mean that's something that we can look at. However, let's look at the data. The data is showing that most of the people that are interested in these type of sales are out of the country. So we're talking about Colombia, we're talking about Russia, we're talking about South America. So it's a lot of South American traffic coming to these landing pages and websites. And I'm going, we should run ads in South America. It makes sense because if you're a foreign national with a lot of money, you don't mind spending $400,000 on a 750 square foot uh, apartment in South Beach, as an example. So, looking at the data, that's my takeaway as well. So,
Well, I want to make sure because look, one thing about when we're learning, time does go by quickly. So we're almost, at our hour. But I
sure,
feel that what you've given us so far is a great start. I think it's always, continued learning because business changes. And like you said, you went back from when they started doing, you were on like, your iPods. So now we're doing
yeah,
podcasts. It's something that's evolving all the time. People are going to
absolutely,
find innovative ways to market, and this is why people like yourself are so needed. I tell people you can't do everything. Like, I do my own marketing, and a lot of it is not because I generally want to, but
yeah,
right now I'm still, I'm not on the Oprah Winfrey budget yet. When I get that, I'll have a full staff. But I
absolutely.
do believe, right? I do
I like them
believe that,
glasses though. I like
yeah,
them
I
glasses.
had listen.
That's the that's the that's that
I'm
billionaire look.
I'm coming for it. Listen, I'm coming for it. Got some things happening. I'm coming for it because I'm coming for it. So
Yeah,
I just want to make sure that, people know we have to be realistic. I know when you first start getting into business, a lot of it's built on just muscle. You don't have the funds right now. You're trying. I mean, any little bit helps. And then we elevate to monsoon. Monsoon's there, but when you first start, if you have to kind of share your stuff on Facebook, do something.
absolutely.
And
Yeah,
at least, like you said, build the content. So when we get to the level that we need you at, you have something to work with. Because I always believe that. Like, I think for you, if a client has like zero zilch, and I'm sure you can work with them, but it makes your job a lot easier when they have at least something where they kind of know where they want to go. Am I correct by saying that, at least something?
Um, yes and
Or
no.
you
Yes and no.
you can work for them when they just wake up in the morning and say, I want to start a business.
Listen,
You're
it again, it all depends on the consultation. All depends on what you're trying to do. If you want to create a campaign that's only gonna run for like 2 weeks or 30 days because you have a short window and a small budget, I mean, we can work with you. However, we have our management fee that we charge everybody. Do we have clients that are starting at our firm minimum of 1497? That's $1,497 a month. Absolutely. Do we have clients that are at the $4,997 a month? Yeah, absolutely. So it it depends. And if you have a $3,000 a month budget and you want to work with the agency like us, and you have $1,500 to spend, let's start there. Let's get some data in. Let's get some leads in so your sales team can sell and grow the business. And now it's justified. Now the $3,000 I just spent in April, we've made like 13,000, so we can easily put $3,000 back in. That's how it works. It's not rocket science, but um, on the flip side, if you have no money, then that's it doesn't work. And you know, good luck with doing all the free marketing things, and that's okay too. Start there. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, start. Then that's what I'm saying. Start at least somewhere.
Yeah,
Listen, start somewhere so you can at
absolutely.
least grow. So you have to, before you leave. I always do all my guests. You are now an official member of the People of Power show.
Thank you.
Even though you've dropped so many jewels tonight, I always tell my guests, and I slacked for a while, so I apologize if you were my guest and I didn't ask you. I did slack. I do apologize. I'll own my ish, right? But
Sure.
please leave the guests with a superpower. I always tell people that. So what a superpower is something that you feel that people need. Like, if you could give away any superpower,
Sure. Uh
what
huh.
would you give away?
Give me an example of a superpower because I want to make sure that
Well, it's just
I
well,
answer you
it's basic.
properly.
Well, no, and you, I don't think, since I've been doing this show for almost
Like
three
kind of
years,
like what's my biggest advice to all
yeah,
the
like a superpower to me would be something that you feel like a quality that people need right now. Like, you could give it
uh
away. If you could give away a superpower, because I call those things qualities of life.
uh
Love. It could be passionate. Being
okay.
passionate. It could be whatever. But
Sure. Okay, I'm gonna make this real quick because
okay,
I know that you want me to answer the question, but I got to tell this quick story.
okay,
So when I was graduating from the University of Illinois, uh, Bill Gates was in attendance, and he had like a breakout session to talk to graduating seniors that are in business and tech and what have you. So we all crowded around this amazing, brilliant guy, um, and this this person asks the most amazing question to Bill Gates. He says, "What's the number one advice that you would give to senior graduates, like sitting in this room right now, that we can quickly implement?" You know what he says? Learn the tax code.
learn the tax code.
Yeah. And he laughed and he started eating a bag of chips. And that always stuck with me. And to learn the tax code. So here's my thing. Here's my superpower. Read at least 4 books a month in your industry. Read at least 4 books a month. And by 12 months, you will become an expert. You will know and have more knowledge than your competitors. Because you know what? Most people don't read.
Now, can we do that with audiobooks? Is that cheating or no?
No, no. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm sorry. Yes,
It's
you
cheating?
can
Oh,
like audio books, articles, peer articles. Like, listen, I even listen to books now
yeah,
because
so we
yeah,
could do
yeah.
audio. Okay. Just
Just
because people are moving. They're
yeah,
moving and
yeah.
they're
The,
going and I want to make sure.
totally totally
Okay.
understand. There's Audible. I have an Audible account. Okay, so when I'm working out or I'm riding my bike, or I just have some downtime, I don't listen to music. I don't. I feed myself with knowledge that's going to help my business. I feed myself with knowledge that's going to help my clients. So I can continue to grow.
But
You
real
know,
quick, Ted, before we go, do you have a favorite book that you like, a must-have book that yeah, you're
yes,
smiling.
yes.
Okay.
Robert Ringer, Winning Through Intimidation.
Winning
Robert,
through intimidation.
yeah, Robert
Okay.
Ringer, and it talks about it's a story about a real estate agent out in California. He started selling real estate. He was doing very well, but then he started like getting into commercial real estate, and so he's like learning all these marketing tactics. So he got really big and successful fast. However, when he started working on these extremely complex deals, these commercial deals, millions and millions of dollars, he wasn't set up properly. So it allowed him to be intimidated at the end of the deal. So if a deal was like 100 million and X, Y, and Z, at the end of the deal, at the table, he didn't have an attorney. He wasn't licensed in that state. Just not having this stuff together allow him to be intimidated. So they promised him X amount of money on this deal once it closed, but now since they know that you're not set up properly, like you don't know the game, they're gonna give you what they want to give you, and so that's intimidation. So once you know your business, and I have this thing called KYB, know your business. Know what kind of business that you're in. If you're in the music business and you're making music, you're not selling music. You're selling emotion. Okay? You're selling how someone should feel when they hear that music. That's what you sell. Okay? So this person, Robert Ringer, put all these amazing stories and strategies in this book so you won't be intimidated in business. It's a very short read. Go to Amazon, search for it. It's probably like 12 or 13 bucks, but it's an amazing book. So
It
there you
is
go.
an investment.
Yeah,
All right, Ted.
yeah.
Well, let me just tell you, it's been great.
Thank
And
you.
I know people probably got caught up in the draft tonight. I know we were competing with the draft, but you know what? They'll see the video later. We keep
Is it the NBA draft or
It's the NFL draft.
oh, okay. I watched the NBA draft because my school did
Oh,
very well this year. The Fighting
oh,
Illini, we're number two in the nation,
okay,
and I'm looking out for AO to go to go to the NBA, and we can use him down in Miami
right.
for the Miami Heat. So
Okay. All right now. Well, we will definitely have you, we as in me, because I'm the only one on the show, host and creator, right?
that's cool.
Me, will
Mhm.
definitely have you on again because again, we, as entrepreneurs, you have to keep learning, and it's a constant
Sure,
grind. And what we talk about in April, it will change again. I'm sure in August, so there'll be new tidbits out or something to that nature. So I definitely would love to have you back on the show. And if
sure.
you have any questions for Ted, please make sure you reach out. Ted, if you can also text me just a real short your website information and everything on it so I can put that on top of the video. So when we blast it again, people will
Well,
also have
all that's on the presentation I sent you. So all
yeah,
of
but
yeah,
I like to make it easy for people. They can just hit
yeah.
that link right
I
on
got
top
you.
of the video, hit the link. Yeah, we
I'll
people
text
are
it to you right
spoiled.
now.
Okay,
I'll
yes,
text it
yes.
to you
'Cause,
right now.
people
Okay.
are spoiled now. They just like easy access, hit and click, and then you're there. So I want to make
Sure.
sure no one misses out on that, and they can just go
Sure.
directly to your website. And
Awesome.
I want to just say this real quick because my aunt told me I should say this on every show, even though it's called the People of Power. We're gonna say good night and remember, everyone, knowledge is power.
Power. Right
All
on.
right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Good night. Love you. All
Thank
right.
you. People are power.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.